Welcome to Selling Digital, where we help you turn your design skills into a thriving online business. Let's dive into today's tutorial and start designing a life you love. We're starting off today with a 12 by 12 canvas, and I'm going to grab the ellipse tool. I usually just call it the circle, and I'm going to hold down Shift and create a fairly large circle. I'm going to turn this black for now, and I'm going to make sure that it's in the center, both vertically and horizontally. And then I'm going to select the convert to donut. Perfect. You do have the ability to just grab a circle, put it on top, and then cut it out, but you don't have the customization that you have when you click the donut. So I'm going to select the white arrow here, and what it's going to do is you're going to see two options that we wouldn't normally see. So here we have this one, and that will be able to make the inner donut larger or smaller. And we have this one here, which would allow us to basically cut it. So this would be really helpful in a lot of SVG designs. Basically, you could do this shape and then have text above, or lots of different reasons why this particular donut tool is really helpful. So I'm going to create it about, I think maybe right about there, because I'm wanting to have a pretty good looking ornament shape. I'm wanting to have a nice outline there for the outside. From here, we are going to select the ellipse tool again, and we're going to create, I'm actually just going to use oval shape. It doesn't really matter if you use a circle, can absolutely do that. It's just whatever you prefer. And I'm going to make sure that this is in the center. So we're gonna hold Shift and select both shapes and then click center. There we go. Now we want to merge these two shapes into one shape. And we do that by going up here to the add. And as you can see, we now have one shape. You can see that in the layers panel here. And we have that top of the ornament, but we need a hole here so that we can have an ability to string something through. So we're going to grab the ellipse tool once again and make a circle. This time I'm going to make that white so that I can see it better. And we're going to just pop that right there, making sure that there's enough space on the outside, and we're going to align it in the center. And then this time we want to subtract that top layer, that top circle, out of the bottom layer. Now you need to make sure that whichever one you are subtracting is on top, because you are subtracting this layer from this layer down below. And we'll just hit subtract. And as you can see, we now have an outline of an ornament with a hole up here and the ability to string something. So now we're going to make the inside of our ornament, and I'm going to use the heart-shaped. So if you just select right here where it has the teardrop, and if you hold, you'll see all the other shapes pop up. I love the amount of shapes that are automatically built in. We click on Heart tool. And again, you'll want to hold the Shift key down to get a uniform looking heart, but if you're wanting a different shape, you could obviously do that. It's all in what you are looking for, but I am looking for a fairly uniform shape, so I'm going to just hold the Shift key down. I'm going to turn this black as well. Selecting the Move tool, I'm just going to move it around. And I think I am going to want to adjust the look of it a bit after I get it centered. So we're going to, somehow I thought I was turning that black. So now that we have it right there, we're going to select both layers, and I'm going to align this in the center again. And I want to have this be a taller looking heart. So I'm just going to pull it up right there. And now we need to do that same effect that we did before. We're going to grab both layers, holding Shift key, selecting the second layer. You can see in the layers panel, both are selected, and we're going to merge these together. We're going to add them together. Now, if you're worried that perhaps this isn't enough space to hold them together, we can hit Control Z and we can adjust that. Control Z is just the undo button and your best friend. I'm going to hit the arrow key and just slightly merge it down a bit, and I think that will give us a larger amount of space that it's connected to. We could be cutting this out of wood, acrylic, all sorts of different things. So we want to make sure that we have a big enough base right there. So now I'm going to hit add, and that looks like a much better amount of space. You might be wondering, if this is an ornament, why do I have it on a 12 by 12 canvas? Well, this really is up to you, and SVG is fully scalable, so it really doesn't matter the size. But let's say that you are making this specifically for ornaments and you're going to be selling the digital file. You may want to decrease this down to maybe, let's say, 5 by 5. That might be a better situation for your end customer. In my situation, I like to keep it at a 12 by 12 because this could be a beautiful ornament at, let's say, 5 by 5 or even a 3 by 3, depending on the size of somebody's Christmas tree or whatever they are wanting to use it for. But this could also be a really beautiful metal sign that they could hang on the outside of their house. So I want to make sure that it's just a good size overall. So again, it really just depends what size you want and what your purpose is for creating it. So it really doesn't matter, but if you wanted to use a smaller canvas, absolutely do that. So from here, we're going to create the name in the center. All right, so clicking the text box tool, I'm going to just do my last name. So Osborne's, and definitely not loving that text there, not the vibe. So I'm thinking some type of script font will look the best. And that's a little too thin. I think JT Camilla is going to be the font that I'm using. Let's test it out. And we'll just center this fairly well and go up here. We'll go ahead and select everything and then center. I like the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and create another text box. And this time we're going to do established, and then 2010. It's the year I got married. And I'm going to choose a different font for this one. I don't love that. I want something that's serif font, so I like that one. And perhaps we'll make this down a little bit. We could also do a custom design where we have maybe everyone's name or something like that. Would be really cool. It could be a new couple's first Christmas. You could put that there. Lots of different options. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll this or push that one down a bit and then push this one down a bit too, just so it takes up a little more space there. And then we could always add something else in here as well, but I'm not going to for the sake of timing. And I'm going to make sure that these are aligned as well and apply. And then again, we'll just hold everything and align everything together. I think that looks really nice. So the next step is we need to convert the text into curves. So right now, if we were to double click, everything is regular old text. We can edit it. They need to be curves so that they have the outlines and therefore can be a SVG that can be cut out. So what we want to do is, with it selected, we're going to click on Convert to Curves. And then we are going to use the Move tool, select this one as well, and then Convert to Curves. Wonderful. So now what we need to do is just double check and make sure everything is converted. You'll know it's converted when you select, and they are now individual, but they have all the different nodes. You can see that happening there. So before, when we clicked, we could edit the text. Now we can't edit the text. You can also tell over here in the layers panel how it's looking. So the next step, I like to add or merge the shape together. I find that to be much easier than going one by one. So you can tell that the O and the S are not going to be able to be joined together. But since it's a script, the S, B, O, R, and N will be able to merge together into one single shape. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And all I have to do is select each one. So we're going to select the S. You can do this from the layers panel as well if you feel like it's easier. And then we're going to hold down Shift key, select the B, O, R, and then the N. And you'll be able to tell right here in between how they're overlapping. And we need these lines to be able to cut out correctly. So we have to merge this together. So we're going to click Add. And now you can see that this is just one single shape. I could grab this and move it if I wanted to. Our next step is to cut this out. So I'm going to hold the word Osborne's, or the shape, essentially Osborne's, as one single shape. And I'm going to hold down the Shift key and select the whole entire back layer of the design. And we're going to click Subtract. Now it has cut that shape that we created out of the letters out of the overall ornament or the overall vector design. We're going to do that same situation, but with the next shape down here, or the next text down here. So again, we select this one, and then we select the background layer, and we subtract. Perfect. All right, so now you can see that we have just one single layer, and it is all curves. To test this out, we're going to click on the node tool, and you can see all of the different nodes that are involved here. There's a lot. It's a full cut file now. Now this next part I find pretty important, but it's again up to you. I do find things work better when I do this. You can go up to File and then Export and then do an SVG, but you'll notice that when we see Area, we get whole document, but that's our only option. So instead, I want to select my design, and I'm going to then go to File, Export, and then we're already on SVG. And instead of whole document, I want to click on Selection Only. When I do that, you'll see that the white space around is removed. It's unneeded white space that just does not need to be there and can be a huge pain when you're putting it into a Cricut document or into a Cricut software or a Silhouette software, and they're trying to size it. They have to take into account the added white space or empty space around your design if you don't do this. So it's just a lot smoother if you do it this way. Then we're going to click on Export. Now we will just save the design, and that's it. To test things out, we are over on Cricut Design Space. We're going to click on Upload, Upload Image, and then drag our file in. Here's our file, and we're just going to click on Continue, and then Upload. All right, so here is our design. I'm just going to make it larger. It looks absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Just a beautiful file, completely ready to cut. Thanks for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with the others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. For even more tips, exclusive videos, and the chance to request personalized tutorials, head over to my Ko-fi page. Become a VIP member to gain access to commercial use files perfect for print on demand and so much more. Join our community of creators and let's design a life you love together. See you guys in the next video.